Hey guys, what's going on? And today we're going to be doing kind of a different Overlord explained video. So first guys, I just want to say the recent reception to my reviving the Overlord explained series has been absolutely overwhelmingly positive. I thank you guys so much for that. I've been getting such good feedback from you guys. I've been getting great constructive criticism on my videos. You guys seem to really enjoy it, and the amount of people that have just been supporting these videos, it's really motivated me to keep working on them. And so a lot of people have asked me, am I going to keep making Overlord content? The answer is a resounding yes. But now that I have gotten through the 3 big kingdom videos that I wanted to do, I wanted to take the time to address one of my older Overlord explained videos, which is the history of players in the New World video. So I made that video almost 2 years ago. That was my first Overlord explained video that I made after a long break from YouTube. I was still kind of getting back into the swing of things, not only for Overlord content, but just YouTube in general. So that video actually blew up a month ago. It got maybe 5 to 6 times the amount of views in a span of a month. It was just absolutely crazy the amount of comments that were coming in. And a couple of my lovely viewers in the comment section noted some discrepancies that I made in the video. And there were actually quite a few of them, more than I'm comfortable just leaving alone. So I wanted to make today's video to address those comments as well as kind of provide my commentary on the video itself, because the amount of comments and questions that I got in that video, it was just staggering. I couldn't keep up with the number that was coming in. And guys, the fact of the matter is I'm not perfect. I do the best I can when I make these videos, but sometimes I leave some things out, or maybe I'm saying some things wrong. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but in every single one of my recent Overlord explained videos, I have put a note in the editing on it in post because I realized I made a mistake when I was recording. So guys, with that being said, let's get into the video.
The specific level all of them were has not been confirmed, but from what we do know about the items they left behind as well as their supposed powers, we can assume they were all close to, if not level 100.
Okay, so right there, that's a first point that has been brought up a few times in the comments. So what I want to say about that is, so something that has been brought to my attention in the comments is that the ability to use 10th tier magic apparently is achieved around level 70. I think it's level 70 is when 10th tier magic can be used. And at the time I made this video, I was basing my assumption on the 6 great gods levels by the fact that the Sunlight Scripture had that crystal that contains 7th tier magic. That I believe was the result of one of their Miko princess rituals. But the fact of the matter is that there is no definitive proof on what their levels are. They could have been all over the place. Who knows for sure? Maruyama has never said, and it's never been stated exactly what they are. Now, the fact that they had a world item is one thing that makes you think that they're higher level. Another thing to take into consideration is there was a group in the Overlord world called the Evil Deities. The Evil Deities were said to once serve the 6 great gods. So a theory that's been going around is that the Evil Deities group was actually NPCs that came over from Yggdrasil with the 6 great gods. And then after the 6 great gods all died, the NPCs went crazy and started trying to destroy the world. So with that being said, that means they had enough levels in order to make NPCs, because the way the Yggdrasil game worked is you had to actually collect levels that you could pump into NPCs. So that's another reason why it lends to the fact that they're hardcore gamers. And so they were probably high level, maybe not level 100, but they were pretty high level in terms of that, in my opinion. But like I said, this is all conjecture. There is no definitive proof. So I stated a lot of things in this video like they were facts, but that is not how I wanted to present it at all. A lot of the stuff regarding the older players is very, very speculative, and you can only, there's only little bits and pieces of information.
We also know that 4 of them were human, 1 was an elf, and 1 was undead.
Okay, another discrepancy right there. I made a huge mistake. Yeah, this is just a straight up mistake. I just want to say that. I don't know where I got the idea. I said that one of their members was an elf. That is false. Well, I don't know if it's false, but it's never said that they were an elf. Normally when I make these videos, I try to stick to the more streamlined sources, but for this one, because there was so little information about other players, I kind of went off the rails a little bit. It's actually probably more likely that Allah, who's the god of life that I said was an elf, was a human because they also were dead by the time the 8 Greed Kings showed up, and Shoshana was the only one that was alive because Shoshana wasn't dead. Elves have extremely long lifespans, so if they all died of old age, why would Alaf be dead if they were an elf? That's a question that was brought up a lot in the comments section. I don't know where I got that information from, but I think this is just a straight up mistake. I don't think Alaf was an elf. It's much more likely that they were human.
The 6 great gods were also the first group to introduce tier magic to the New World and began teaching it to members of their nation.
Okay, that is another mistake right there. First of all, this next bit of information comes from a very loyal viewer who's always commenting and leaving good feedback on my channel and on these videos. Akashi, if you're watching this, very good detailed comment about a lot of the discrepancies I made in this video, and one of them is the fact that at the time of the 6 great gods coming into the New World, people weren't actually capable of using tier magic. At the time, wild magic, which was the magic of the dragon lords, as well as runecraft, which is the magic of the dwarves, were the only magic systems that were available to species of the New World. Tier magic was not accessible to any of the New World inhabitants. It just was not. They couldn't learn it. They couldn't use it at all. So what ended up happening is, and this has been debated online, like who actually used this item. Some people are saying the 6 great gods used it when they arrived, but a lot more people say the 8 Greed Kings used it, and I think it is. I'm leaning towards more the 8 Greed Kings using it. But there was this world item in Yggdrasil called 5 Elements Overcoming, and what that world item could do was change a mechanic of Yggdrasil. So what a lot of people think happened in the New World is that the 8 Greed Kings came in and they used 5 Elements Overcoming to change the system of the world's magic to tier magic. This is what caused everyone to be able to use tier magic. It started with people being born with the ability to use tier magic. But not only did this change the world's mechanic to tier magic, it also affected the existing magic mechanics with wild magic. The Dragon Lords, I believe they stopped being born with the ability to use wild magic because of the mechanics of the world were changed. And therefore now there's like a designation between Dragon Lords. There is true Dragon Lords, and then there's just Dragon Lords, and true Dragon Lords are the ones that are capable of using wild magic. So me saying they were able to teach people tier magic, that's just straight up false. That's just a complete mistake on my end. I take full responsibility for that. But I straight up did not find anything about 5 Elements Overcoming in my research on this subject at all. When Akashi left that comment, that was the first time I had heard of 5 Elements Overcoming, and I looked into it and I was like, holy crap, I just got served a plate of knowledge and I'm just eating that up. I spent like an hour just like reading online about like theories and that. And like I said, guys, a lot of this stuff is theories. None of this stuff has been confirmed by Maruyama or anything in the official sources. It's just like likely stuff. Like we can theorize, and if it's the logical conclusion, whatever. But none of this is 100% confirmed. So you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt. Like it could be proven wrong one day, you know, depending on where the light novel goes. So I really feel like that was something I should have said in the video, is that like that a lot of this stuff is speculative.
He was described as a skeleton that wore a jet black robe and carried a sparkling staff and a scythe.
Okay, so this is another point that Akashi brought up to me, is that Shoshana is never described this way. And he's both right and wrong, and I'm both right and wrong here. So actually, Shoshana is described that way in the web novel. So I don't know if you guys know this or not, but there was a web novel for Overlord that came out before the light novel. The web novel and light novel are completely different things. They are non-canon to each other. The manga and anime of Overlord, which I'm assuming a lot of people watch the anime on that are watching these kind of videos that I make, that's based on the light novel. So anything in the web novel would be completely unknown and also does not apply to the light novel, manga, and anime. At the time of me making this video, I didn't know that the web novel was non-canon to the light novel. So I kind of just homogenized the information. Shoshana is described that way in the web novel. Like I focus on covering the light novel stuff. He's right in saying that he's never described that way, because he is not in the light novel, but he is in the web novel. but I didn't have that distinction going on when I made this video.
Surshana was regarded as the strongest of the 6 gods and was considered an evil god by the population.
Okay, actually, here's another point. A lot of people are saying, so I remember one person was asking me about levels of the 6th grade god again, and like they could have all been level 100, but the fact that Surshana was a heteromorphic race, he was an undead, that's why he was stronger, since heteromorphic races are just naturally stronger than humans. I find that to be likely. I think the most reasonable explanation is they were all level 100, hardcore gamers, and Surshana was just the strongest because he was the only non-human. Because humans are a weak race compared to all the other, you know, like kind of demi-human and heteromorphic races in the New World. That seems logical to me, but that's something I didn't consider when I was making this video. Also, one more thing, Akashi, if you are watching this, in your comment you said that the Slain Theocracy never developed colored circles. I wasn't talking about spells. I was talking about the 6 sects of the religion. Which, you know, the sunlight and the sunlight scripture, the windflower scripture, the firestorm scripture, and all the 6 gods do have colors associated with them. God of fire is red, God of water is blue, etc. They all do have colors. That's what I meant. I didn't mean anything in terms of like their magic casting. I meant in terms of like their structure and like the organization. I think I elaborated on that in my Slain Theocracy video, and I think that cleared that up, but I just wanted to address that point.
Once again, their exact levels have not been confirmed, but like the 6 great gods, they were likely either near or at level 100 upon arriving in the New World due to evidence that they were capable of using 10th tier magic.
Okay, so here's another thing. Here's another thing right there. Like I said before, 10th tier magic is actually available from level 70. So just them being able to use 10th tier magic does not mean they're level 100. However, the fact that they had a guild base that came with them, Uryuanshu, floating castle, Platinum Dragon Lord lives in it now. They at least had a world item. They had one world item confirmed, and that was the Nameless Book of Spells. And Platinum Dragon Lord has that, I think, too. But what I'm saying is these guys were likely hardcore gamers. They had their own guild base. They had their own world item. They were very... So it makes a logical conclusion that they were level 100. Also, they were just ridiculously strong compared to... even the Dragon Lords couldn't stand up to them. It took 10 Dragon Lords to kill one of the Greed Kings. So, and Dragon Lords are like this, like one of, if not, they're debatably the strongest creatures in the New World. So the fact that it took 10 of them to beat them is insane. Like I said, it's conjecture, but I think it's likely they were level 100 hardcore gamers.
Like the 6 great gods, they specifically targeted non-human races, while treating humans rather well under their rule.
Okay, that's another discrepancy here. They didn't really target anyone specifically. Once again, this is Akashi coming in. I swear to God, he served me up a plate of knowledge that I was just slurping up. I was just like, oh my God, this is great. I love this stuff. But once again, Akashi coming in clutch with the information here. They didn't really target non-human races. They were all humans, I believe. But they didn't target non-humans exactly. So because they were humans, though, I believe the humans like submitted to them, while the demi-humans and heteromorphs kind of stood up to them, and that's why it seemed like they were targeting. But it was really just they just killed anyone who stood in their way, and the humans didn't because they were also human, and so they're just clearly crazy strong humans. So. That's what I believe what happened, but I don't believe they actually targeted non-human races. It's just the humans didn't stand in their way nearly as much as the non-human races did.
During their conquest, they encountered Surshana, who had apparently made a deal with some of the Dragon Lords to kill the 8 Greed Kings. However, this attempt to overthrow them failed and ended with the death of Surshana. Following this encounter with Surshana, the 8 Greed Kings began to target the Dragon Lords, as they were an extremely powerful race within the New World.
Okay, yep. Here's another thing. That is, the 8 Greed Kings didn't target the Dragon Lords. I now have a new working theory for this. What is believed to have happened is that the Dragon Lords targeted the 8 Greed Kings because the Dragon Lords are aware of players. The Dragon Emperor, who is Platinum Dragon Lord's father, it isn't explained exactly how, but he is apparently the reason that there's players in the New World in the first place. And I think the reason that the Dragon Lords targeted the 8 Greed Kings was because 2 reasons. One, the 8 Greed Kings were the ones that used 5 elements overcoming, and that caused their wild magic to get tainted. I think that's the word they use. They call it tainted wild magic, the magic of the Dragon Lords, and that's like their source of power. So them affecting that made them deem the 8 Greed Kings a threat. Also, or it was the 6 great gods that used the 5 elements overcoming, and after a while they just wanted to kill all players. They just viewed players in general as a threat. So that's why they targeted the 8 Greed Kings, because they were players and they knew they were players, so they went after them. But it wasn't actually the 8 Greed Kings that targeted the Dragon Lords. It was the Dragon Lords that targeted the 8 Greed Kings, and eventually led to the Dragon Lords' near extinction, because the 8 Greed Kings were just way too powerful.
Their rule was pretty short-lived, however, as their own greed ended up causing them to fight each other and ended with all of them dead. This is like...
Okay, right there. That is that is just like conjecture in the New World. I mean, that's just straight up conjecture in a fictional thing that I'm also making a conjecture about. So we have 2 layers of conjecture here, but that's never confirmed to be the actual reason as to why they killed each other. All it's known is that they did kill each other, and I think basically maybe that what my working theory is that they killed each other. The last Greed King was left, and then the remaining Dragon Lords, like Platinum Dragon Lord, Deep Darkness Dragon Lord, they killed the last Greed King, because that's my theory about it.
Likely due to humans not receiving any emotional dampening like Ainz and becoming obsessed with their possessions and power.
That's a workable theory right there.
The 8 Greed Kings have a considerable legacy within the New World. It is said that if it were not for the 8 Greed Kings and their purging of non-human races, it is likely that humans would have gone extinct due to their relative weakness compared to other races. In addition, the 8 Greed Kings were the major driving force behind the spread of tier magic in the New World, spreading it across the continent with humans everywhere starting to develop it.
Yeah, so that's another thing right there. So I guess something I haven't been able to figure out is, I think the 6 great gods were able to use tier magic despite not using 5 elements overcoming. I think so. But when I said that the 8 Greed Kings were the main cause of the spread of tier magic, Akashi said it best. They weren't one of the causes. They were the cause, because they used 5 elements overcoming to change the world system to tier magic. So like no one could use tier magic at all in the New World. No, even if they sat them down and this is how you use tier magic, they couldn't use it. It just wasn't possible. Then the 8 Greed Kings came in, used the world item, and then everyone could use tier magic. Like I said before, the only magic systems in place before tier magic were wild magic, which is only Dragon Lords could use it, and runecraft, which is only dwarves can use it. So humans and monsters had no access to magic whatsoever until the 8 Greed Kings used 5 elements overcoming.
These 2 actions are some of the most prevalent reasons as to why humans became the dominant species in the New World.
Okay, and when I say humans becoming the dominant species, I that was bad wording on my part, because they're not really, because there's a lot stronger races in the New World. It's just the fact that because of the actions of the Slain Theocracy, humans have humans have become able to form large kingdoms, and there's human kingdoms all over the place. You have the Riestes Kingdom, you have the Baharuth Empire, Slain Theocracy, Robo Holy Kingdom, Dragon Kingdom. Humans had no access. Humans would have been killed off way before the current timeline if it wasn't for the fact that the 8 Greed Kings used 5 elements overcoming to give them tier magic, which allowed them to fight back. Okay, so most of the stuff about that one random player that was killed by Deep Darkness Dragon Lord and the Minotaur Sage, all that stuff, I believe, is still kosher.
It is said if it were not for these weapons being in possession of the Great Minotaur Nation, they likely would have already been wiped out by their neighbors, the Beastmen Commonwealth.
Yeah, okay, I think this is Akashi's last point here, and that comment there about the Minotaur Sage's weapons allowing for the Great Minotaur Nation to fight off the Beastman country. My bad, that was web novel. Once again, I believe that was web novel. I didn't have the distinction between web novel and light novel back then. This is almost 2 years ago. I'm a lot more methodical now, but back then I didn't do the distinction. So I think that's what the problem was right there.
At some point, he also imparted knowledge of the existence of players and Yggdrasil to Platinum Dragon Lord and Regret.
Okay, so that's one thing right there. Like I said, I'm pretty sure PDL, Platinum Dragon Lord, I'm pretty sure he knew about players before these guys, because he was around during the 8 Greed Kings. So I'm pretty sure he knew about players beforehand. It's just like, I guess he favored this guy because he was like not evil and he wanted to give him a chance or something. I don't really know. But actually goes into the last bit here.
It is unknown exactly how the leader ended up dying, but it is theorized he was lethally wounded during his battle with his player companion. He ended up dying near Platinum Dragon Lord and Regret and requested not to be resurrected due to the guilt he felt over killing his friend.
So actually, that little bit there, I think that, once again, this is not 100% confirmed, but I think a new working theory is that PDL, they started becoming too strong, and he feared, he would, like I said, he was alive around the 8 Greed Kings, so he remembers, like, the destruction and death that players brought to the new world. Like, the new working theory I have is that, I think, they still fought, and then the leader killed the other player, then PDL killed the leader. That's what I think happened, actually, now. That makes more sense to me because the leader just became so strong and kept getting stronger and stronger. Like, PDL was afraid of the growth potential of players, so he just decided to kill him while he still could. That seems more logical to me than him just like dying like heroically and tragically and not wanting to be resurrected. I feel like that's a lie, and PDL killed him. That would make more sense to me. So that's not really a mistake here. It's just another theory that I didn't include in this. Okay, guys, so that pretty much covers the video right there. Like I said, guys, I've been getting a lot of really great feedback on these Overlord explained videos. Like, I'm absolutely loving the engagement. I just wanted to take the time to go over this one specifically because in this one there was a lot of things that I could have structured this video a lot better. I should have explained that a lot of this stuff is really speculative. There's really no hard concrete proof about like a lot of the things I said. Like, the only things we really know about like the 6 great gods is they had downfall of castle and country, and they had children because godkins exist. And the only thing we really know about the 8 Greed Kings is that they killed a lot of dragon lords, and they killed Sershana because of the slain theocracy said. So like a lot of this stuff is like just conjecture that's brought off of facts that don't necessarily confirm what you can say about them. So you kind of have to just make your own conclusions based off the facts that are presented on the hit players, and like there are logical conclusions you can come to based off the information that is shown, but at the end of the day, it's still a theory. I really think a prequel to Overlord would sell like hotcakes. Let's do like a freaking 6 Great Gods prequel. I would love that if we got a prequel like showing the 6 Great Gods first showing up. Oh, that'd be so cool. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to take the time to go over this, basically just addressing you guys. I do read your comments. Guys, I just want to say I'm so thankful for all the support you guys have given me for the Overlord content. I plan to totally keep it up. I'm not stopping this train anytime soon. Season 4 is going to be out in just like a few short weeks. I'm so excited, guys, and things are just going to keep looking up, and I totally plan to keep making more of these. And I've been striving to be a lot more consistent and like not make mistakes like this in the newer Overlord explained videos that I've made. It still happens. I'm not perfect. I'm not going to guarantee it's not going to happen because, like I said, I just miss things from time to time. But I plan to continue making Overlord content and just doing the best I can to provide quality stuff and let you guys get into Overlord more, because that's the name of the game. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hit that like button to let me know. If you aren't already, please subscribe to the channel. It helps me out more than you know, and it'll also let you know when I post in the future. With that being said, I want to thank you all for watching to the very end of the video, and I will see you all next time. Bye.